Welcome to the Echoes of Ihsan podcast. Today we are really diving deep into a topic that's, it's both mysterious and deeply personal, the world of dreams, and their significance in Islam.
Oh, that's a fascinating topic.
Our primary source for this deep dive is Sahih Muslim, specifically Hadith Book 29, which focuses on visions.
It's a rich text filled with so much insight into the spiritual dimensions of Islam.
It really is. And we know our listeners are particularly interested in understanding how to interpret those dreams and how to react to different types.
Yes, dreams have captivated humans for centuries.
Exactly. And in Islam, they're not just fleeting images. They're actually potential sources of guidance, warnings, and even spiritual insights. One of the first things that really struck me in Sahih Muslim was this distinction between good dreams and bad dreams.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It's like there's a whole spiritual dimension to this nightly experience.
It goes beyond just feeling good or bad when you wake up. It ties directly into this belief in a very vibrant spiritual realm, existing alongside our physical world.
That's right.
And this realm is populated by both angelic and, satanic forces. And both can influence our lives, including our dreams.
So it's not just about that late-night snack giving me a nightmare. There's a deeper spiritual possibility at play.
Precisely. While a heavy meal might certainly lead to some, unsettling dreams, Islamic tradition encourages us to consider a spiritual dimension as well. Could it be a message from Allah? A whisper from Satan, attempting to mislead or frighten? This framework, it adds a whole new layer of meaning to our dream experiences.
Okay, that's pretty profound. But how do we as listeners actually try to discern the source of a dream? Is there a set of rules or guidelines that we can kind of use to help navigate this?
Well, that's where things get even more intriguing. While there are some general principles, Islamic dream interpretation, it emphasizes the importance of context and individual understanding. Not every dream with, seemingly negative imagery automatically originates from a satanic source.
Oh, okay.
And vice versa. For example, a dream about being chased. It might seem scary, right? But in Islamic dream interpretation, it could symbolize running away from responsibilities or struggling with, difficult emotions.
So there's no one-size-fits-all dream dictionary where every symbol just has a fixed meaning.
Precisely. It goes beyond simple translation. It encourages introspection and really a thoughtful analysis of the dream symbols within, of course, the broader context of Islamic teachings and your own personal experiences.
So it's more of a kind of a personalized approach, urging us to really reflect on the dream and its possible meanings.
Exactly. And this is where seeking guidance from knowledgeable scholars, it can be helpful, especially for dreams that are particularly vivid.
Right.
Recurring or emotionally charged, they can provide, valuable insights and help you navigate those intricacies of Islamic dream interpretation.
Makes sense, yeah. Now, speaking of guidance, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself actually offered very specific advice on what to do after experiencing a bad dream. Spitting to the left 3 times, seeking refuge in Allah, and refraining from dwelling on or sharing the dream.
And these actions, they're not mere rituals or superstitions. They carry profound spiritual significance. Imagine, you wake up from a disturbing dream, your heart is racing, Spitting, though symbolic, it acts as this physical gesture to ward off any perceived evil, clinging to the dream's residue, seeking refuge in Allah. It reinforces your reliance on divine protection, affirming that ultimately, you are safe in His care. And choosing not to dwell on or share the dream, it prevents the negativity from taking root, spreading. It's like taking those proactive steps to safeguard your spiritual well-being.
It's like a spiritual first aid kit for those unsettling dreams that can sometimes leave us feeling vulnerable. And it's fascinating how the Islamic teachings offer practical solutions to address these experiences. And there's even an anecdote about Abu Salama finding relief from those distressing dreams after following the Prophet's advice.
Exactly. Islamic teachings aren't just abstract concepts. They provide tangible tools for navigating the complexities of life, including, the often confusing realm of dreams. This practicality, it makes these teachings relevant and applicable, even centuries later.
Now, things take a really interesting turn when we delve into this concept of dreams as part of prophecy. There's a hadith that describes a believer's dream as a fraction of prophecy, becoming truer as the end times approach. That sounds a bit like every dream could be a crystal ball.
It's easy to misinterpret this concept.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that every dream is a literal premonition of the future. Instead, it suggests that dreams can provide, insights, guidance, warnings, some clearer than others. Think of it as a spectrum. A devout individual known for their truthfulness, they might have a dream that carries, greater weight or prophetic significance than someone who isn't as spiritually attuned.
So it's not about predicting the lottery numbers, but about discerning potential messages or signs that might guide our actions or strengthen our faith.
Precisely. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he beautifully highlights this link between inner purity and, clarity of spiritual experiences in the statement, the truest vision will be of one who is himself the most truthful in speech. It underscores how our inner state, it influences our spiritual experiences, even in the dream world.
Wow, that's powerful. So it's not just about the imagery, but about cultivating a truthful heart, aligning our actions with our faith.
Exactly. It emphasizes the importance of striving for spiritual excellence in all aspects of life, as this inner purity can enhance our connection to the divine and potentially lead to, clearer, more meaningful dream experiences.
It's incredible how these teachings really intertwine inner development with those external experiences. It's fascinating how the Prophet Muhammad also interpreted specific dream symbols, like seeing shackles or fetters, as signifying steadfastness in religion. He also expressed his dislike for seeing, necklaces in dreams.
These interpretations, they offer a glimpse into the symbolic language of dreams. Objects and events, they can hold, deeper meanings related to an individual's spiritual journey, their struggles, or aspirations. However, decoding these symbols, it requires more than just a dream dictionary.
So it's not as simple as just looking up like necklace and finding a fixed meaning. There's a deeper layer of interpretation involved.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the broader context of Islamic teachings, your own life circumstances, reflecting on, the emotions and themes that arise in the dream. For example, the Prophet's interpretation of shackles as steadfastness, it might seem counterintuitive at first.
Yeah.
But imagine a Muslim facing tests of faith, experiencing, restrictions or challenges that make them feel bound. These shackles could symbolize their unwavering commitment to Islam despite facing adversity.
So it's about finding that personal resonance of a symbol. Within that framework of Islamic teachings, it's like each dream has a unique message tailored to the individual.
Exactly. It's about, exploring the possible interpretations
Yeah.
within the framework of Islamic teachings and your own unique experiences. This makes dream interpretation, well, a dynamic and personal process of discovery.
And among, all the types of dreams, there's one that holds extraordinary significance for Muslims. Seeing the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in a dream.
Absolutely. A hadith explicitly states that whoever sees the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in a dream truly sees him, as Satan cannot assume his form. This highlights, the Prophet's unique spiritual status and the profound impact such a dream can have on a believer.
It must be an incredibly powerful and reassuring experience for someone to see the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, even in a dream.
Indeed. For Muslims, such a dream can be a source of, immense blessing, guidance, and confirmation of their faith. It reinforces their connection to the Prophet, reminding them of his enduring legacy and continued spiritual presence in their lives. It can inspire them to strive for, well, spiritual excellence and deepen their commitment to Islamic teachings.
It's remarkable how a dream can create such a tangible link across centuries, connecting believers to a pivotal figure in Islamic history. And Sahih Muslim also mentions other, prophetic dreams, like the one about a canopy dripping with honey and butter. That sounds like a pretty delicious dream.
Ah, yes, the canopy dream. It's a beautiful example of how seemingly ordinary objects in dreams, they can carry profound symbolic meaning. But as with any dream, especially those with, potential prophetic significance, interpretation requires a careful consideration of context and symbolic language.
I'm definitely intrigued to hear more about this canopy dream and its interpretation. It seems like a great starting point to really dive deeper into these specific examples of prophetic dreams mentioned in Sahih Muslim. What do you say we explore that in part 2 of our deep dive?
I'd love to. It's a fascinating dream that reveals a lot about the nature of dream interpretation in Islam and the importance of approaching these experiences with humility and an open mind. It really does, The canopy dream, it reminds us that even for those closest to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, understanding those nuances of dreams required, well, sometimes even divine guidance.
It's true. So let's unpack this dream a little bit. It involves someone seeing a canopy, like a tent or covering, dripping with honey and butter, and people gathering it up. It paints such a vivid picture. But what does it all mean?
This dream was actually brought to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, himself for interpretation,
Oh, wow.
highlighting, its significance and the importance placed on dreams within that early Muslim community.
Yeah, we're talking about like high-stakes dream analysis here. This wasn't just a casual conversation. This was like a moment where dreams were really being taken seriously as potential sources of guidance.
Exactly. They were seen as this valuable means of communication, potentially carrying, messages from a divine source. Now, in this case, Abu Bakr, one of the Prophet's closest companions, stepped up to interpret the dream.
Of course, Abu Bakr, always eager to offer his insights and support the Prophet. I mean, it really speaks to that close bond they shared.
Indeed, built on mutual respect and that shared commitment to Islam. Now, Abu Bakr, he suggested that the canopy, well, it actually represented the canopy of Islam itself,
Okay,
with that honey and butter symbolizing the sweetness and beauty of the Quran.
that makes sense. The Quran is often described as a source of guidance and comfort,
Yeah.
spiritual nourishment. For Muslims, it's like, like a soothing balm for the soul.
Precisely. The Quran's verses, they're filled with wisdom, ethical teachings, stories that inspire, guide believers. So Abu Bakr, he saw this dream as this metaphorical representation of the Quran's impact on, well, people's lives. He interpreted the people gathering the honey and butter as those who, embrace, benefit from the Quran's teachings, absorbing its wisdom and then applying it to their lives.
That's a pretty profound interpretation, connecting a simple object like a canopy to the vastness and beauty of Islam itself.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. While praising Abu Bakr's insights, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said that he got part of the dream right,
Oh,
but also got part of it wrong.
really?
Unfortunately, the Hadith doesn't explicitly tell us which part was, well, incorrect, leaving us to ponder the full meaning, sparking, centuries of scholarly debate.
Oh, that's such a tease. It leaves us like hanging, wondering what the complete interpretation actually is. But it also kind of highlights how dream interpretation, even for those closest to the Prophet, could be complex and multifaceted.
It wasn't about, just applying simple equations or looking up symbols in a dictionary. It involved, seeking divine inspiration, acknowledging that even the most, well, learned individuals, they might not fully grasp the depths of a dream's true meaning.
Right, right. So what can we as listeners learn from this? Like how can we apply this understanding to our own dreams?
It teaches us, humility. When we approach dream interpretation, we should avoid being, overly confident or dogmatic, recognizing that dreams, they can hold, well, layers of meaning that might not be immediately apparent. It's a process of reflection, contemplation, and seeking guidance, when needed, whether through personal reflection, consulting knowledgeable scholars, or, praying for divine inspiration.
And maybe a reminder that some mysteries are just meant to remain unsolved, prompting us to delve deeper into our own understanding of faith in the spiritual realm.
Perhaps. The canopy dream, it invites us to engage with that mystery, to ponder the symbolism, its possible connections to our own lives, to the broader context of Islam. Now, going back to the dream itself, there's another fascinating element that adds, well, another layer to its complexity.
Oh, okay.
The dreamer also saw a rope connecting the earth and the sky.
Okay, that's definitely symbolic. Ropes often represent connection or like a means of ascent. It makes me wonder what this rope could symbolize within the context of this dream.
You're right, ropes are often associated with, well, with bridging gaps or providing a pathway. Abu Bakr interpreted this rope as the truth that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, stood by, which would elevate him to heaven.
Okay.
And he saw others climbing this rope after the Prophet, suggesting, the continuation of his legacy and that path of righteousness laid out by Islam.
So even in dreams, there's this sense of community, a shared spiritual journey, connecting believers, across time and space.
Absolutely. It emphasizes that our individual spiritual paths are often intertwined with those around us, especially those who, guide and inspire us. The rope, it symbolizes those shared values, beliefs, and practices that unite Muslims, providing that path towards spiritual growth and closeness to Allah.
It's a beautiful image of how faith can create such a strong bond between people, even extending beyond this earthly life.
Yeah.
Like besides the canopy dream, are there other examples of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, having like prophetic dreams that kind of offer insights into this concept?
Yes, several. One example is a dream where he saw himself using a miswak,
Okay.
a traditional teeth cleaning twig made from a specific tree branch. In this dream, two people wanted the miswak, one older and one younger. Initially, he gave it to the younger one, but then he was, instructed to give it to the older one.
I'm intrigued. What message could be hidden within this seemingly like simple act of offering a miswak? It seems like everyday objects can take on, profound significance in dreams.
You're right. Dreams often use, symbolism from our daily lives
Yeah.
to convey deeper messages. While the interpretation of this specific dream, well, it wasn't explicitly given in the Hadith, scholars, they suggest it might relate to prioritizing, experience, wisdom,
Hmm.
represented by that older person.
So it's not about, favoring one age group over another, but recognizing that value that comes with, a lifetime of experiences,
Yeah.
the wisdom gained through those years.
Exactly. In many cultures, elders are respected for, their knowledge, insights, guidance. This dream could be a reminder to value the wisdom, contributions of those who have lived longer, learn, valuable lessons along the way. It could also symbolize the importance of respecting elders, seeking their counsel when navigating life's challenges.
It's fascinating how even, even seemingly mundane objects like a miswak can hold such profound meaning in dreams, prompting us to reflect on our relationships and the values we prioritize.
It speaks to the power of symbolism and the way dreams can, communicate complex ideas in a concise and often poetic manner. Dreams, they challenge our assumptions, encourage us to look beyond, the surface, finding those deeper layers of meaning in, the seemingly ordinary.
And another dream mentioned in Sahih Muslim, it describes the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, migrating from Mecca to a land with many palm trees. It turned out to be Medina, the city where he, established that first Muslim community.
Yes. This dream, it occurred before that actual migration to Medina. It foreshadowed that significant role this city would play in the development of Islam. It's a powerful example of how dreams can offer those glimpses into future events or provide those symbolic confirmations of decisions or, paths being considered.
So in a sense, his dreams were guiding him, offering, signs and confirmations along his path.
It's an intriguing perspective. While we can't definitively say dreams, dictate our actions, they can certainly offer insights, reassurance, warnings that might, influence our decisions or understanding of events.
That's fascinating. It opens up a whole new way of thinking about that interplay between, the spiritual realm, our inner lives, and the choices we make in our waking lives.
Exactly. Dreams they can serve as a bridge between these different aspects of our being, offering a glimpse into how they might be interconnected. Now, there's another dream from Sahih Muslim that I think you'll find particularly interesting. It involves the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, seeing himself brandishing a sword, and its upper end, it broke. Then he brandished it again, and it was, whole, restored.
Oh, a broken sword. That sounds ominous. I'm curious to hear how this was interpreted. Did it represent a threat or a moment of weakness?
It's a powerful image, isn't it? But the interpretation actually, it focuses on resilience and ultimate victory.
Oh, okay.
The breaking of the sword, it represented those initial setbacks and challenges that the Muslims would face in their early years. The restored sword, it symbolized their eventual triumph over adversity, the strengthening of their faith through trials.
So even negative imagery in a dream doesn't always mean a negative outcome. It's about understanding that symbolism within that broader context of the dream and the individual's life.
Precisely. This dream reminds us that challenges and setbacks, they're a part of life. And even in the face of adversity, faith and perseverance can lead to growth, resilience, and ultimately victory.
This deep dive is really making me realize how much depth there is to dream interpretation in Islam. It's not just about looking up symbols in a dictionary, but a thoughtful and nuanced and deeply personal process of reflection and seeking understanding.
Absolutely. It requires knowledge of Islamic teachings, self-awareness, and a willingness to explore, those subtle messages our dreams might be might be conveying. It's about integrating our spiritual understanding with our lived experiences, using dreams as a tool for growth and self-discovery.
Now, I'm curious about the Hadith that says, whoever sees the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in a dream truly sees him, as Satan cannot assume his form. Why is this type of dream so, so significant? And what makes it different from other dreams?
This hadith highlights that unique spiritual status of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in Islam. It emphasizes that seeing him, even in a dream, is a genuine and, a blessed experience, free from any demonic influence or deception.
It must be an incredibly powerful and reassuring experience for a believer to have such a dream.
It is. It can strengthen their faith, provide guidance, offer a profound sense of connection to the Prophet. Peace and blessings be upon him, even centuries after his lifetime. Such dreams are often treasured and seen as a source of, immense blessing and spiritual confirmation.
Are there any examples of people seeing the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, in their dreams and receiving guidance or, insights? Imagining these dreams must be incredibly vivid and impactful.
While the Hadith collections don't go into, detail about specific instances, there are countless accounts throughout Islamic history of people experiencing such dreams and feeling deeply, deeply impacted by them. These dreams are often seen as a source of, comfort, inspiration, confirmation of one's path.
It's amazing how dreams can bridge time and space,
Yeah.
connecting us to those who came before us,
Yeah.
reminding us of that enduring legacy of faith and spirituality.
Indeed. They offer a glimpse into, that timeless nature of spirituality, the interconnectedness of believers, across generations. Now, we've talked extensively about good dreams, prophetic dreams, but what about those dreams that are just plain weird, confusing?
Yeah.
The ones that leave you scratching your head and wondering what on earth your subconscious is up to.
Oh, absolutely. Those are the ones that stick with me the most, like leaving me puzzled and sometimes a little uneasy.
Yeah.
Does Islam offer any guidance on how to deal with those head scratchers?
It does. Islamic teachings offer guidance even for those puzzling dreams that don't fit neatly into, the categories of good or prophetic dreams.
Okay, I'm all ears. Those confusing dreams are the ones that I need the most help with.
Well, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he advised that if someone has a dream they dislike, or find confusing, they should simply spit 3 times to their left, seek refuge in Allah, and not dwell on it, not share it.
So it's like a spiritual reset button, like, acknowledging the dream, but not letting it take root in our minds or create, unnecessary anxiety.
In a way, yes. It's a practical way of navigating that often confusing world of dreams. It's about choosing not to give those puzzling or unsettling dreams, more power than they deserve.
Right. It's a great reminder that we have the power to choose how we respond to our dreams, even the ones that leave us feeling, bewildered.
Exactly. We can choose to focus on, the positive messages, seek guidance when needed, and release those dreams that don't offer, clear insights or guidance.
Now, is there any specific reason for spitting to the left? I'm sensing there's a deeper meaning behind this action.
You're right. There's, symbolism at play here. In Islamic tradition, the left side, it's often associated with negativity or, undesirable things. So spitting to the left, it symbolizes a rejection, a warding off of any, negative energy or influence associated with the dream. It's like a symbolic act of purification, cleansing ourselves from, any lingering negativity.
It's fascinating how, even small actions can carry such symbolic weight within a spiritual framework. It shows a deep awareness of, the interconnectedness between our physical actions and our spiritual state.
Exactly. It's a reminder that intention, symbolism, they play a significant role in, in Islamic practices, even in seemingly simple gestures. Now, you mentioned not dwelling on or sharing, confusing dreams. Why is that advised? I can see how dwelling on a confusing dream might lead to anxiety.
Yeah.
But what about sharing it with someone we trust?
You bring up a good point. Sometimes, talking about a dream can help us process it, but why is it discouraged in this case?
Dwelling on a, confusing dream, it can lead to unnecessary worry, overthinking,
Okay. It can also create this sense of unease, anxiety that might not be warranted. It's like getting caught in a mental loop, replaying the dream's confusing imagery
Ah,
without gaining any clarity or
yeah.
resolution. As for sharing, while discussing dreams with, trusted individuals can be helpful, it's generally advised to avoid, spreading negativity
Yeah.
or potentially misinterpreting the dream's meaning, especially if it's, confusing or unsettling.
So it's about protecting our own, mental and spiritual well-being and avoiding, potentially spreading negativity to others.
Precisely. It's about approaching dreams with a balance of curiosity and discernment. We can learn from them without allowing them to control our thoughts or emotions
Yeah.
or, burdening others with confusing or negative energy.
This has been such an insightful exploration of, of dreams in Islam. I'm starting to see how dreams aren't just, just random occurrences, but potentially powerful sources of guidance, warning, and spiritual insight. That's a beautiful way to put it. Dreams offer a unique window into, our inner selves and our connection to the divine. By understanding the Islamic teachings on dreams, we can navigate our own dream experiences with greater awareness, mindfulness,
Mm.
and connection to Allah.
Before we move on to discuss my own dreams, there's one more question I've been pondering. We've talked about how the truthfulness of dreams can depend on a person's piety and spiritual state. But what about those who aren't Muslim? Do their dreams hold any significance in an Islamic context?
That's a thoughtful question. While, Islamic teachings primarily focus on the dreams of believers, there's no, definitive statement excluding the significance of dreams for non-Muslims. Some scholars, they suggest that dreams can be a universal language, uh, through which God communicates with all of humanity, regardless of their faith or beliefs.
That's an interesting perspective. It suggests that dreams might transcend like those religious boundaries, potentially offering insights or,
Yeah.
or guidance to anyone who's open to receiving them.
Exactly. It highlights the universality of certain human experiences, including that mysterious realm of dreams.
This is reminding me of how the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, encouraged his companions to share their dreams with him so he could interpret them.
Yeah.
It shows a real openness, a willingness to engage with the dream world and its potential for spiritual growth.
Absolutely. It reflects his understanding of dreams as a potential source of guidance and insight for all who sought understanding by encouraging his companions to share their dreams. He created a space for learning, reflection, spiritual growth within that early Muslim community.
It's a beautiful example of how dreams can foster a sense of community, shared understanding, even prompting us to reach out to others for support and guidance when navigating that sometimes perplexing world of dreams.
Indeed. It reminds us that we don't have to, navigate the dream world alone, sharing our dreams with trusted individuals
Hmm.
or seeking guidance from knowledgeable scholars. It can enrich our understanding and help us uncover that hidden wisdom
Yeah.
within them.
This deep dive has been so enriching. I feel like I have a whole new appreciation for the complexity and significance of dreams in Islam.
I'm glad to hear that. It's a topic that deserves, continued exploration and reflection. Now, are you ready to delve into your own dreams and see what insights we might uncover together?
Yeah, absolutely. We've covered so much ground, exploring the Islamic perspective on dreams, from the spiritual significance of good and bad dreams to the
Mhm.
to the complexities of those prophetic dreams, and even those perplexing head scratchers. But now I'm excited to shift gears a little bit
Mhm.
and focus on my dreams.
Well, I'm happy to help guide you through that process. Remember, dream interpretation in Islam, it's a personal journey of exploration. There's no one size fits all approach.
Right.
It's about uncovering those unique messages that your dreams might hold for you, and I'm here to help facilitate that process.
Thanks. It's reassuring to have have your expertise as we navigate this often confusing realm. Well,
Mhm.
there's one dream that's been recurring, and I can't quite shake it off. It's a bit unsettling, actually.
Okay.
In this dream, I find myself in this vast this dark forest,
Hmm.
completely lost,
Yeah.
alone. And I keep hearing these whispers all around me, but I can never make out what they're saying. It leaves me feeling, anxious and disoriented, even after I wake up.
That's a very evocative dream. Forests, they often symbolize, the subconscious mind in dream interpretation, the darkness, the feeling lost. It could suggest this sense of confusion or uncertainty in your, your waking life, or perhaps this fear of the unknown.
Uh-huh.
Are there any significant transitions or changes happening in your life right now that might be feeding into this dream?
Now that you mention it, I have been going through, a period of major transitions lately, both personally and professionally. I'm facing some big decisions, and there's a lot of uncertainty about the future. Maybe those feelings of being, lost and unsure are manifesting in my dreams.
It's definitely possible. Dreams, they often reflect our emotional state and the challenges that we're grappling with in our waking lives. And the whispers you hear, without being able to decipher them, it could represent this sense of not fully understanding or having control over these changes. It's as if your subconscious is trying to communicate something, but the message is still kind of shrouded in mystery.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like my subconscious is trying to send me a message, but I'm struggling to decode it. So how can I approach this dream from an Islamic perspective? What steps can I take to find clarity or peace of mind?
Well, first, remember the advice that we discussed earlier about dealing with those unsettling dreams. Seek refuge in Allah. Upon waking from the dream, spit to your left, 3 times, and sincerely ask for protection from any negative influences or anxieties that it might bring. This simple act can be, incredibly grounding, reminding you that you are not alone in navigating these feelings.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that there's a spiritual dimension to these experiences, and we can turn to our faith for support, for protection.
Exactly. And remember, don't dwell on those unsettling aspects of the dream. Instead, focus on what you can learn from it. This dream could be an invitation to delve deeper into your own heart, to examine those feelings of uncertainty, seek guidance on how to navigate these transitions with more confidence, with more clarity.
So instead of fearing the darkness of the forest, I should see it as an opportunity for introspection and growth. It's about shifting my perspective from fear to a more, empowered approach.
Precisely. It's about reframing your perspective and seeing challenges as potential catalysts for spiritual development. Remember the hadith about fetters symbolizing steadfastness in religion. Sometimes, those most challenging experiences can actually strengthen our faith, our resilience. This dream, it might be urging you to face your fears, your uncertainties head on, trusting that you have that inner strength and the support of your faith to navigate through them.
That's a powerful way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of forests, we're not truly alone. Our faith acts as a compass and a source of light, guiding us through the unknown.
Beautifully said. Now let's address those whispers. Any advice on how to decipher those cryptic messages from your subconscious? Remember, Islamic dream interpretation encourages a process of reflection,
Yeah.
contemplation.
So it's about tuning into my inner wisdom and seeking a deeper understanding of the dream's message.
Exactly. Keep a dream journal,
Yeah.
and record the details of this dream and any others that feel, significant. Pay attention to the emotions that they evoke, and any recurring themes, any recurring symbols. Ask yourself, what were the dominant emotions in the dream? Fear, confusion, loneliness. Were there any other symbols in the forest besides the darkness and the whispers?
This approach is really encouraging me to become more mindful of my dreams, and to see them as a valuable source of self-knowledge.
Exactly. And as you reflect on those details, consider how, how they might relate to your current, your current life circumstances. Are there any, any parallels between those feelings of being lost and alone in the dream and the decisions that you're facing in your waking life?
Yeah, it's a fascinating process of connecting those dots between, between the dream world and my everyday experiences.
It is, and if you find yourself, struggling to understand those messages, don't hesitate to seek guidance from a knowledgeable scholar or or someone who's well versed in Islamic dream interpretation. They can offer valuable insights and help you contextualize your dreams within the framework of Islamic teachings. Oh, yeah.
I'll definitely consider that. This has been such an eye-opening conversation. It's made me realize that dreams aren't just random noise in our minds, but a potential source of guidance, wisdom, and spiritual connection.
I'm so glad you feel that way. Remember, every dream, even the most unsettling ones, can be an opportunity for growth, self-discovery, and a deeper connection with the divine. By approaching our dreams with awareness, intention, and faith, we can unlock those hidden treasures within them and navigate our life's journey with greater purpose, greater meaning.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your insights today. It's been an incredible deep dive into the world of dreams and their significance in Islam. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope this exploration has been as fascinating and thought-provoking for you as it has been for us. And if you have any dreams that you'd like to share or any questions about Islamic dream interpretation, feel free to connect with us on our social media platforms. Until next time, may your dreams be filled with peace, guidance, and blessings.